Hello and welcome to Easy Does It. The first thing I want to talk about here today on Easy Does It is the fact that, the greatest team in the country, the greatest college football team in the country won. So that's pretty cool. My Ohio State Buckeyes knocked off the number one team, which is always neat. I've been a Buckeye fan for 5 games now. 5. And we've won all 5 of them. So maybe I'm not as horrible luck as one might think. So, yeah, that's cool. That's great news. Glad to see the Buckeyes take the win today. I know that team up north plays who do they play? They play like Toledo or something. But, they're not going to. Michigan will win today. I can't remember who they play. I'll look it up real quick. Michigan schedule. Oh, New Mexico, yeah. The Lobos. That'll be interesting. I got the other games on right now, too. I got Alabama going to probably beat Florida State in Florida State. I don't really know where. Oh, I think they play in Tallahassee. Yeah, I think that's about right. I know ODU, which is another school that for whom I have affection because I worked there for a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean like one game is kind of a shitty job. But they were competitive pretty early against Indiana, but Indiana's going to run away with that one. Football season is back, baby. That's right, Darius. Football season is back, and it's an exciting thing. It's the most exciting thing. This is the best time of year where the Cubs are, still alive, even though they've been playing kind of shittily. And the Bears are just around the corner, and they haven't played a game yet, so they haven't really let me down yet. Although there was some news this week that was very, very disappointing, and it makes me hate the Cowboys almost more than I hate the other team involved, and that is Micah Parsons being traded from the Dallas Cowboys to the fucking cheeseheads. Fucking loser-ass cheeseheads. What are you doing, Luna? My dog just rolling around on the floor over there. Micah Parsons going to Green Bay, going to be wearing number 1, and he's going to be wreaking havoc for the Packers. And that's horrible news. That's really, really horrible news. When I found that out, I was more deflated than a Tom Brady football. It was awful. It was so disappointing. And the reason behind my disappointment is they're going to run the North for sure, and they're probably going to, that's my dog, they're probably going to run the NFC. Like, look, the Eagles are still kind of the team to beat, but the championship hangover is a thing. All right. Like that's pretty much been established. It's very hard to repeat as champions. So the Eagles are going to have a hard time. Like, I mean, they'll still be really good this year, but there might be some sluggishness, and I think Eagles fans understand that. But hey, that's great news for them because now they don't have to deal with him week 1, Micah Parsons, that is. So that's the first thing. Is the Eagles, right? The second thing is, okay, maybe the Niners, they have a great coach and all, but you don't really know what you're getting with them. It's kind of all or nothing. They either go to the NFC Championship game or completely shit the bed. I don't know. Seahawks? No, they're not better than them. The Rams, we don't even know if their quarterback is healthy. We don't know what's going on with Stafford's arm. Look, if his arm is intact, then they'll be fine because that right arm is one of the very best to ever exist. But he'll be on his ass a lot because they got to deal with Gary and Parsons. Rashawn Gary is – I'm going to look up his stats real quick because I should have had this memorized. But I'm trying to explain why Micah Parsons being on the Packers is every bit as scary as social media is making it out to be. And look, Rashawn Gary has never had more than 9 sacks in a season. But all his peers know he's very good. That dude, all he does is just wreak a shit ton of havoc. he just causes problems for people. He's always in the backfield, disrupts us on every play. He's a nightmare for Braxton and Darnell. And just like that defensive line is really good as it is. And then you add Micah Parsons, who's not just an elite pass rusher, but he also covers well. He runs with the running backs. He could run with the fucking receivers. One of the most versatile players in the game, but also just one of the very best at rushing the passer. This is terrifying, not just for the Bears, but for the entire NFC. I do wish Ryan Poles would have given up a ton of capital. I wouldn't even fucking cared if he gave, two first round picks to the Cowboys for Parsons, because Parsons is that good. On the other hand, I'm glad we don't have to deal with Kenny Clark anymore, because that dude he is really good. Kenny Clark is really good. Like, I don't want that to get lost in all this. Kenny Clark is really good. He's aging, but he's really good. But now the Packers have a linebacker who, I mean, it almost feels reductionist to even call him a linebacker, because he's so much more than that. He's almost positionless. He's just a game wrecker. And now Rashawn Gary's going to have a lot of one-on-ones, and he's going to eat. And given our quarterback's problem with holding on to the fucking ball, meaning he's good at not fumbling it, but like he holds on to it for an awfully long time in the pocket and out of the pocket. This is a nightmare scenario. And the Bears have to face a lot of defensive linemen, really, really good ones this year. I mean, this division's a bloodbath. It's still a bloodbath. And let's just hope, one, that Jordan Love sucks, which I don't think he will. I don't think he does. I mean, he's pretty damn good. I hope he's not anything like Aaron Rodgers. Welcome to the show, Crooked Commish.
What's good?
Not the Bears' chances of winning the North, I'll tell you that much.
That is a fact, my friend, unfortunately. So,
I'm just talking. I'm lamenting on this Micah Parsons move because that ruined my week.
Yeah, I could see how that would do that. I think that ruined a lot of Bears fans' weekends for sure.
Definitely, I mean, he's going to cause so much trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's the equivalent of how, the Khalil Mack trade for us back then. You know how Packers fans were a little like, God damn, this isn't going to be good for us.
Yeah, but the difference is our quarterback was Mitch Trubisky. Jordan Love is a lot better.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. Like that is a huge difference. Having a quarterback that's not like year one into the offensive system. That quarterback Jordan Love should, be very comfortable in that offensive system and whatnot.
Yeah, now, granted, and he's proven to be good. He's won a playoff game against Micah Parsons.
Right. Now, granted, he doesn't have necessarily his offensive weapons aren't as impressive as other teams in our division and whatnot.
That's true. That's true. So, they don't have much at receiver going for them right now.
Right. But they still do have a juggernaut and running back and Jacobs there. And
another guy the Bears should have signed. But no, let's get DeAndre Swift instead.
Yeah, no, but I do think Swift may have a sneaky good year. I think he'll be a pretty productive fantasy player, at least.
I got him in fantasy.
Yeah.
I got Kelsey and Swift right next to each other. It was the only thing that made sense. It really was the only thing that made sense because I was the number one pick, and some of the other running backs were taken. So I was like, fine, I'll get Swift. And I think Kelsey's going to have a good year. I think the Chiefs are coming back with a vengeance, but that's beside the point. Anyway, continue what you were saying, Crooked.
I was just saying that, like I said, the Green Bay's offensive weapons, like I said, may not be nothing like impressive and whatnot, but what they do have going for them is, like I said, a really good running back, solid running game, and a quarterback that grasps and is comfortable with his offensive scheme, and what they're doing and whatnot.
That's an identity.
Yeah, and that may be enough to overcome not having stud wide receivers all over the field and stuff. That may be just enough. So, like I said, Parsons going over there isn't going to do our left tackles any favors and whatnot at all. Like, we already had questions about that and kind of worried. So
yeah, I'm tired of people. I feel like a lot of Bears fans are like, they're just so delusional in how they talk about this team, because it's like, yeah, we have some pretty good secondary players. I love our linebackers and whatnot, but both offensive and defensive lines are not that good.
Yeah, we still have some questions for sure. And to be fair, like there's at least half of the Bears fans that aren't completely sold on Caleb. Like the jury's still out on him if he's
Hey,
really
look,
the guy, to lead this team. So, like if I think if we were to have traded for Parsons, like a lot of a good amount of Bears fans wanted, I think we would have been in a similar situation like we were a few years ago with Mac and Trubisky,
oh
because
yeah,
like
no, it would have been
we're hoping
almost
Caleb's the
parallel.
guy. Yeah, no, like we're hoping Caleb's the guy, but if he's not, then we kind of like fucked ourselves over. And Green Bay's in that situation to where if they don't have a championship ring by the end of the 2028 season, that trade will not be worth it, because by that time, Parsons' contract will be expiring. He's going to be time to renew, and same thing with Jordan Love as well. So
Yeah, but the thing is, what people need to understand is the salary cap is a lie. Salary cap is basically a lie, because you could always restructure deals. You could always move money around. You could always have guys take pay cuts and then have them get paid more. And I mean, you don't think there's under the table stuff going on too? Like the salary cap is it's there just to be a word to make people feel like there's competitive balance. But I mean, at the end of the day, these general managers are able to work around it. So, like, I don't know. I think making this kind of move and paying a Hall of Fame, because that's what he is. Micah Parsons is 100% on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Making him a highly paid player is absolutely a genius move. Like it's the correct move to make. And yeah, they have to win a ring. And the thing is, if history is any indicator, they're going to win a ring, because they got Reggie White from the Eagles while he was still in his prime. They won a ring. Charles Woodson from the Raiders while he was in his prime. They won a ring. And now Micah Parsons from the Cowboys while he's in his prime. And they're, hopefully third time's a charm and they don't win a ring. Hopefully, we figure out, hopefully they go like, 7-10 and miss the playoffs and suck. Actually, I hope they go 0-17, but I just hope that the move for whatever reason doesn't work out. Maybe Micah Parsons gets his bag and decides that he doesn't really, want to try anymore. That would be great, but he doesn't seem like that kind of dude.
yeah,
I don't know, man. I'm just hoping it doesn't work for them, because I hate them.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. Like
maybe Parsons doesn't play well in cold weather, for a long, period of time. So
yeah,
you know
that'd
what I
be
mean.
great.
So
That'd be cool.
who knows?
I mean, he went to Penn State.
Yeah, I'm reaching here. I'm reaching.
I know what
So
you're doing. I feel you though. I'm looking for as many silver linings in this as possible, but it really does feel kind of hopeless. And it's not just for the Bears; it's for the rest of the league. Like the Bears. I know what the Bears are. The Bears are a below average team. That's what they are pretty much every year. Last year they were worse than below average. This year, I'm hoping they could be at least below average, but I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. I really don't think there's a good shot at that at all.
right,
But I'm also just a generally very negative guy about the Bears.
I think that goes to like that's my biggest, I guess, what I would say to the fans that were upset that we didn't go after Parsons and whatnot is like looking before Parsons and whatnot. I didn't see the Bears as like on the verge of winning the Super Bowl there, or a Super Bowl contending team. I thought if anything they would be a fringe playoff team. So trading for a guy like Parsons, I didn't think we weren't at that level or ready to take that next step to be like, yeah, we're a Super Bowl contending team. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. Does Caleb have a shit ton of weapons and whatnot and a better offensive line? Yes, 1000%. But still have to remember this is still year one of him learning this offensive playbook and whatnot. So to expect him, granted, it would be awesome and I would love it for him to hit the ground running, figure it out, and then just go straight to the moon, from year one. But more than likely and realistically, it may take a season or two, unfortunately. But at the very least, a season to, or at the end of the season, to where he's really has a grasp of this offensive playbook at the very best. So,
I do wonder what Ben Johnson feels about this move. I wonder if he's like excited, like, okay, cool, now I get to game plan for a really, really great player. Probably not. He's probably like, fuck, that sucks that I have to game plan for him. We want an easier road. But I am curious. And man, I'm just so hopeful. I'm so hopeful that Ben is just going to figure it all out. But like, this is like, just given the specific problem that our quarterback has, that, by the way, I'm not blind to. I know he holds the ball too long. And, I have my reservations about Caleb for sure. I guess, like, just given all of that, like, I am curious as to where Ben Johnson is at on all of this. Because obviously with the media, he's not going to say, oh, woe is me, we suck. But I just wonder how he feels. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, Ben Johnson, so far, he doesn't strike me as a guy that really panics too much and seems to be pretty good. Yeah, pretty good at rolling with the punches and like kind of just like hearing the news and kind of like taking it like, well, that sucks or that ain't going to help us much. But, like, fuck it. It's time to, like, I ain't really scared. You know what I mean? I think we could still have an answer for him considering they were playing him at some point this season earlier, I think week 3 or week 4 or whatnot. So it's like he was going to already have to think of an offensive game plan or scheme to try and neutralize him to begin with this season. So now it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, now we're going to have to prepare for him more often than we were initially thinking. But
right. But what I was saying earlier is like, this worries me not just for Parsons, but also because of Rashawn Gary, because now really he's the one that's going to benefit the most from this because he is an absolute menace who, teams have already been game planning for. And now that you look, it's like, honestly, what this is, the best thing I could say is it's like when Clay Matthews was on the Packers, except Parsons is better.
Right.
Which is not a comforting thing because Clay Matthews was really fucking good. But Parsons, the thing is, Clay Matthews eventually made the switch to like a regular outside linebacker or like an inside linebacker, but for a 3-4 or something, like more of like that hybrid. And that wasn't easy for him to make that switch. But Parsons, that's simple for him. Like he could play anywhere on the defense. Like I feel like intelligent people don't quite understand how big of a move this is and how this just shifts the entire landscape in the NFC. And it's not just about the Bears and how they prepare. It's also just about, the rest of the league and all that.
Right.
I do want to talk a little bit about, because look, I wasn't very reassured after watching the Chiefs game. Yes, I know it was just preseason and I know we won the game, but the starters, and I know we were going up against the first string of a dynasty team. I'm not denying that. But like, I wanted them to be a little more competitive in the first half. And, to their credit, they went down and scored at the end there. But like, I don't know, the pass rush just looked non-existent. Right. The offense was showing problems. I'm pretty skeptical going into week 1.
So since you kind of brought that up.
I'm going to show the highlights.
Yeah, why don't we play those and then give me a chance to kind of do what I have to do, some last minute things. So
all right, sounds good. I'm going to play them now. We got 4 minutes. Let's enjoy these highlights. I'm excited to watch Bagent do his thing. And all right, here we go.
The Bears.
The Bears. And the Gibbons to Pacheco, and he's in for 6. Touchdown.
Disappointed!
So far, 1 for 2 for 14 yards. The former USC Trojan. Little play action. He's going to get out in the flat to Swift. And Swift leaps over the Chiefs defender, Tamari Connor. Again, Mahomes, what a pocket. Now he's going to step up. He's going to take off and run, and please slide. Here he goes inside the 20. And finally slides. Getting 18 yards on the play. Well, he said he worked on his speed. He looked faster there. Pacheco bounces it to the outside. Pacheco will set up the Chiefs with 1st and goal. Mahomes to the end zone. Caught.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Nothing but being the West 10.
Yeah. Well, with that come a lot of expectations and a lot of pressure.
Exactly.
So, weighing the good and the bad.
All right, Williams going to take off and run. Connor's going to try to track him down, and Williams out of bounds at the 15. Williams looking left, now looking middle of the field, will throw, and that's incomplete.
Back to watching him and Coach Poppin in the office, but really the whole organization getting behind him and the work everyone did to make that happen is special. And
Boring.
Drive here for the Chiefs. Minshew looking right to the end zone, caught. He is just out of the end zone. Jason Brownlee, a tough catch in traffic. He can boom it. He can certainly flip the field. Here we go. 3rd and goal from the 6. Minshew throws to the end zone, and it's incomplete. He's looking for Jason Brownlee. Kick is on the way, and
Just the experience level that he has being on the field.
Williams will throw. That is caught. Zacchaeus makes the catch, turns it into a huge play. Watson, another Brett Veach gem he found in the 7th round of the 2022 draft. Williams, the throw's got a wide open receiver, Adunze, and he's still on his feet. And he will set up the Bears with 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Gelati has made a bunch of splash plays this preseason, number 97. Williams wants to throw for it, and that's caught. Touchdown, Bears.
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh? Huh? Huh?
Bagent looking. Now he'll move to his left and throw. Caught. Touchdown, Bears. Royce Freeman just signed this week. Tyson Bagent still in at quarterback. And he's going play action, gets it out in the flat. Steven Carlson, and Carlson still running up the sideline. Huge play for the Bears.
At practices, he's always showing up.
Bagent to a wide open Joel Wilson touch.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
The Bills, unfortunately for Bills fans, didn't win any of the 4. Chiefs are hoping to win 3 of 4. He was out of bounds. I only saw 1 foot in bounds.
Last year going into the season, most people had him picked 13th in the Big Ten. And, they ended up doing what they did and making it to the playoffs.
1st and goal from the 7. 7 seconds to go. Bagent will throw. And it's caught. Touchdown, Bears. Walker gets the touchdown.
Us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
Yeah, that was, first of all, it was very funny. I like the little clips inside of that. I love Tyson Bagent. I'm sorry, I love that guy. I know he's our backup. He's not a number 1 quarterback material. I get that. I fully understand. But I don't know. Like, while I was watching that game, I know we were playing 2nd and 3rd stringers, but I was like, all right. So I knew we were going to win because we had Bagent. I'm like, this is the best 2nd or 3rd string quarterback you could get. He's going to take us down, and we're going to win this meaningless game. And I was happy because as a Bears fan, as you know, we don't get a lot to cheer about. So getting this preseason win, like, I very much enjoyed it. I'll go back and watch highlights of this game sometime because fuck the Chiefs, and it was enjoyable. Also, how about Johnny Walker? That catch was the first catch that was challenged and overturned when he dragged his foot. That was incredible.
That was. I think the only people that knew that was a catch was himself and Antoine Randall. Everyone else.
Antoine Randall was hyping him the fuck up.
Yeah, no, and to Jade Walker, because I thought it was Johnny Walker too, but Jade Walker.
Jade.
Yes.
What did I call him? Him? Johnny?
I mean, like I said, for the first week and a half, I was calling him Johnny Walker too. Getting me mixed up with the drink, but it's,
yeah, Jade. That's a great name. I like that name.
No, I mean, shit, a great name, and he's got some great hands, man. Because he made
the roster.
He made some really good plays. Yeah, he made really good plays. He made was one of the camp favorites, darlings, coming towards the end of the preseason, and well deserved. Just like our secret Bagent man, which isn't turning into much of a secret anymore. It's cat's coming out of the bag there. The more and more he plays and whatnot. So well deserved on him getting his contract extension as well.
Yeah, very well deserved, and he's such a great story. And, it's a very team-friendly deal, very solid contract there. I'm glad he's got some money. The thing about it right now, like where I'm at with all this is like, I do love Bagent. I think he's a great backup. I'm a little worried that there's going to be times when Caleb struggles this season because he's still young. He's learning a new, complicated system, and people are going to be clamoring for Bagent this year. It's just going to happen. And I don't love that. I don't think Bagent should be the starter. I think I don't think Bagent is capable of leading a team over the course of 17 games at this point in his career. But at the same time, if Caleb starts playing poorly and we're not winning games, Bagent's going to be the most popular guy on the team.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a tale as old as time, though. To be honest, like the backup quarterback usually is very a fan favorite. So.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, and here's the thing. I think with Caleb and as long as he's not playing god awful, to where he's having games with like 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, type of shit like that. If he's having those type of games, then yeah, those cheers for Bagent to go in are going to get much, much louder. But I think as long as he can play average to above average, it'll kind of like calm those flames down a bit,
Yes.
So it's kind of in his hands, and it's up to him and stuff like that. So as long as he's not completely shitting the bed, he's going to get like the benefit of the doubt, at least from my end, and I think on the coach's side.
Agreed.
But if he's, like I said, if they're playing 500 ball, record wise, and his numbers are, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, it's not going to be great, but at the same time, it's not terrible. And they're going to be like, he's got enough talent to where they're going to be like, give him a few more games to figure it out and to get those interceptions down, so like I said, I think at the very least, if he stays healthy, he's getting this whole season to himself.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and look, like he showed no reasons. The thing is, while, there's still doubts about Caleb and they're justified doubts. At the end of the day, the way people talk about this guy is like he showed up and was just Bryce Young. Like they talk about him like he was Zach Wilson or Trevor Lawrence from their rookie years. And that's just not the case. Like we saw it. We all saw it. We saw a guy who maybe held onto the ball, or no, not maybe, who held onto the ball too long, maybe tried to play hero ball a little too much. I say maybe for that one because that's a little bit more subjective. Maybe he truly just thought the bigger plays were open downfield when they weren't. Either way, I think, a lot of the problems with him is his inclination to try to go for the huge play instead of just, dumping it
game
up,
hunting.
which is
Yes.
generally not a bad idea. I think, just what, like in the case of Caleb Williams, it's just like at the end of the day, the Micah Parsons move should not end up mattering because Caleb Williams should be good enough to overcome really good defenses. And Ben Johnson should be smart enough to scheme for really, really good defenses.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to the quarterback. Like, I feel like that's kind of an important thing too. Like, yeah, we have all these weapons. Rome Odunze is supposed to be awesome. Luther's supposed to be great. DJ Moore has proven himself as, one of the better receivers in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And Swift is good. And we got 2 really good tight ends, supposedly. Can the quarterback get them the ball? Can he get them the ball?
And that's like I said, that's going to be the $1 million question for sure. It is that's why Caleb really doesn't have any like excuses and stuff. He does need to play at least, like I said, at least have show some inklings that he's grasping this offense and understanding it, and show some growth week after week. And that's the biggest thing. If he's not showing that growth week after week of where he needs to go with the ball, because like he was with the Buffalo game, that Buffalo preseason game, how he was playing in rhythm, that's what we need to see more of throughout.
And it's going to be harder. I do think we're going to see a difference between how well he plays at home versus on the road. I think it mattered that, the Buffalo game was at home and, the crowd wasn't getting super loud because, like they didn't need to do the silent count when you're at home. So this should play into his hands week 1 against an aggressive Flores team. You know, the Vikings last year, like, they got after Caleb. They were firing on all cylinders against him. And the thing about that is, this year I want to see him be able to read that, and I also want to see the offensive scheme be more conducive to him exploiting that. I'm talking, specifically about week 1. They're going to blitz him. Can he dissect that? Because great quarterbacks are able to pick apart the blitz. Last year, Flores showed him pretty much no respect, which is fair. He hadn't earned it yet. They were just blitzing all the time. Make him beat you.
Correct.
And he couldn't do it because, for a lot of reasons. And he's not to blame for all of it, but he's definitely to blame for some of it.
Right, and that's where we need to see the growth. And if he's still getting beat the same way that he was getting beat last season, that's not going to be. You know what I mean? That's not going to be good at all. The Bears fandom there is going to have legitimate gripes there to point at and being like, is this really the guy when he can't recognize where the blitz coming from still in year after year 2 or even after year 3? And that's kind of
exactly.
That's kind of where Worth's in with Mitch and whatnot is after a while, like after year 2 or year 3, we're still seeing the same mistakes and the same shit out of him that we saw in his rookie year. And that's what let us know that he's not the guy, not the NFL quality starter.
And, and the thing is, Mitch, his second year, he showed signs of promise. We all thought so. And that's kind of what's giving me a little hope about Caleb is like, first of all, Mitch's rookie year was much better than Mitch's rookie year. And he was also, definitely the better quarterback in college coming into the NFL. I feel like Mitch was, I feel like Caleb is in a better situation than Mitch was, partially because Caleb is probably better than Mitch was. The problem is, if he starts to play to the level that Mitch was, kind of regressed to after his second season, that's going to be concerning. Like you said, really what we need to see this year is growth. We need to see him more comfortable. We need to see him making better reads. We need to see him making better plays. Really, I want it to feel like chunk plays aren't like something to just celebrate. I want it to be chunk plays are just kind of common for the Bears because that's what the good teams seem to do. Like they're able to just get 20 yards down the field and it's not a highlight for them. It's just a normal play.
Correct.
That's kind of what I'm hoping to see.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think all of us Bear fans want to see that on the regular for sure, of them gashing opponents and not just have it be a rare occurrence of like, oh shit, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. And then we don't see that for another quarter or 2.
Exactly. Yeah, it feels like, it's a very common thing with Bears football where it's like, like the highlight reels are like, oh, cool, a 10-yard pass. Great. But, against the Bills, it was like we were just ripping them off and it felt like a lot more casual, which is good. Like, that's kind of what I want. I want cheap yards. I want it to feel like, okay, yeah, this is the way a football game should be going. The other thing that concerns me going into the season is that defensive line.
Yeah.
I just felt like they were getting no pressure on Mahomes. I know he's Mahomes. He's a little weasel who's great at escaping, but I don't know. That was definitely not making me feel very confident.
Oh, 1,000%. Like I said, that first half against KC, Mahomes was getting no pressure. If that was a real game to where Mahomes was going to be there in the whole game, we would have
lost 45 to 12. Yeah.
Yeah. It was not looking good at all because Mahomes was doing anything and everything he wanted to do. Had plenty of time in the pocket. Was rarely getting pressured, let alone, sacked at all. So, the fact that we haven't seen anything from Dayo Odeyingbo at all.
I don't know why he was such a huge signing.
Yeah, for as much money as we gave him, I would have at least hoped to have seen him make some sort of a splash play within one of these 3 preseason games.
I never. It's just like, to me, it just feels like Al-Qadim Muhammad all over again. Like he hasn't done anything in the league. Last year he started 14 games. He had 3 sacks. Like, look, I'm not saying I guess he had. Okay, it looks like here he had 8 sacks in 2023, and he wasn't even a starter. So that's impressive. But I don't know. I need to see that. We need to see that. We need someone to be productive on this D line because Sweat is not good enough on his own. He's good, but he's not he's probably not worth the contract.
Yeah, as of right now,
that's also concerning because it's going to be hard to score points if we can't get the defense off the field. It's hard to move the ball when you don't have the ball.
As good as our secondary is as well, like they can't cover everybody forever when the guy.
Exactly.
So, and like I said, I know it can sound a little hypocritical right now because in the beginning we were like, yeah, Micah Parsons, coming to Chicago wouldn't have been necessarily a great move in the moment, and it's just because, not to say that he's a bad player, Parsons. It's just I just didn't feel that Chicago was in the right position. It wasn't a checkmate type of move, if we can bring up a chess analogy.
I mean, look, it would have been cool to get him. Don't get me wrong. It would have definitely moved the needle, but yeah, you're right. Ultimately, we're not really ready to win, unfortunately, and I feel like this fan base doesn't quite understand that. And Noah here saying, appreciate the Bears trying to throw money at positions to fix problems. Excuse me, but sometimes guys need to earn their money. Sweat is solid. Yeah, Sweat's solid. Dexter is massively overrated by the fan base. I don't think they're paying Dexter an insane amount or anything. Need some juice. Yes, we definitely need some juice. I don't know if making a trade would have been the right move, though, because we kind of need capital right now because we got so many holes. I don't know.
Let me ask you this real quick. Let me ask you this. We saw what it took, what the Packers gave up, the 2 first and I think what was it, Rashad Gary or something like that?
Kenny Clark. No, if it was Gary, it would have been not a lateral move, but that would have been very different.
The Bears, looking at the Bears, if they would have given up their first 2 picks, and I know people would have said Sweat, but maybe Dallas was interested in a younger player like Booker, and then Booker goes on IR, and it kind of takes them out of the Bears out of the equation at that point. If Dallas, was, because they obviously wanted a player, but seeing the kind of preseason that Booker was having and still being under a rookie contract, I would think that Booker may have been intriguing or appealing for them.
I don't think Booker. I'll be honest. I hate to rain on Bears fans' parade. I don't think Booker is anything special. Honestly, I think he's fine. He's a practice squad guy. Maybe could he develop into something? Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like Bears fans, we see guys play well in the preseason. We gotta hang on to anything we can, and so we're like, oh, Austin Booker's awesome. Oh, Tyson Bagent's awesome. And yes, I'm on the Bagent train. I love Bagent, but I still don't think Bagent's a quality starter by any means. I've always just been a sucker for the backup quarterback in general. My all-time favorite player is Josh McCown. But back to the point that I'm making is I feel like Bears fans love to overhype a lot of guys who end up being very, very mid. And another example of that is, what Noah said about Dexter, Gervon Dexter, who I like, solid player, but a solid C+, B- player, a 79, 81 range player, in my opinion, is like a Bilal Nichols that we had a little while back. Decent player, could stuff the run a little bit, can make some plays, but just not someone that you need a game plan for. And that's I think that's the next step for the Bears is getting a defensive lineman who is that caliber of good. Getting a defensive lineman who can wreak havoc. They don't grow on trees, which is why I do understand the idea of trading for one.
Right.
But at the same time, then you're giving up so much capital, and like Noah was saying, like he was saying here, it would go from the Cowboys, a bottom 10 team, to the Bears, a middle third team, probably lower middle third if we're being honest, like a 20 to 18 ranked team. And yeah, that might move the needle, get us to 15 or 14, but I just don't think I just don't know if it would have made all the difference if we were able to get him. Really, I'm not mad at Poles for not getting him. I'm mad at Jerry Jones for just giving him away, basically. That pisses me off. That's what pisses me off about all of this.
So you would have been as a Bears fan?
I would have been doing cartwheels.
Picks like Jalen Johnson. Could you have stomached that to get Parsons?
I would have done cartwheels.
Okay.
I would have been doing cartwheels, but I also would know that it probably wouldn't be the best move because, all pro corner. I don't know, man. I really don't these things. Really, the thing is, we could talk about it all day, but it still comes down to the quarterback. It's the NFL. It comes down to the quarterback. and the ghost in the corner of the screen. How? No, I can't right now. But what it comes down to is how well the quarterback plays. I mean, if Caleb's able to make if Caleb's able to make a huge transcendent leap year 1 to year 2, then yeah, maybe trading for a Parsons would have been worth it because maybe we'd be playing with a lead more. Defense could pin their ears back, but I just don't see what it comes down to is the reason why the Bears weren't in position to make the move is because Caleb is just going to take a little bit more time to progress. And I'm not saying Caleb's a bust at all. I think he's just not going to look ready in the early part of this year. I think it's just, and I'm preparing myself for that, but I'm still going to get mad when he doesn't deliver. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no.
There's a very real.
Look,
we opened the season with the Vikings. JJ McCarthy's first start. We should be able to win that game. It's a rookie quarterback on Monday Night Football. We should be able to win at home. There's a lot of pressure.
It's a winnable
we should be able to win that. I don't expect to win week 2 in Detroit. They're really good. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
But then week 3 against the Cowboys at home, the Cowboys who just got rid of their best player in 2 decades.
Right.
That's winnable. That's a winnable game. That we should win that game. And then week 4 against the Raiders, which I'm going to try my very best to go to in, Las Vegas, you never really know what you're getting with the Raiders. First of all, I know the Bears fans are going to travel really, really well. That should be a win as well. I think that we should be, I don't think we're going to be favored in that game, but just given where the Bears are at, it should be very competitive. The point I'm making is 3-1, we should start the season 3-1. I don't think we will because we're the Bears, but we should. We definitely should. What do you think? I don't know if I've gotten your thoughts on this. What do you think we're going to do this year?
Record-wise, I think I'm hoping and thinking that we'll do slightly better than last year. Last year we finished with 5 wins. I think
we'll
a realistic. Yeah, I think realistically it can be 7 wins. Just our schedule's a bit tougher. Like I said, Caleb's learning a new offensive system, so it may take him. Like I said, he may get off to a slow start, in a sense, and it may take him, week 9 or 10 for him to really grasp the offense and start playing within rhythm. 4 quarters of a game instead of just 2 quarters or 1 quarter of a game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see, but I think 7 wins is a realistic, expectations for the Bears this season. Don't get me wrong.
I agree to that. Look, I think I've been saying 6-11 for the longest time. I want to be a little bit more positive. I'm going to let myself be a little bit more positive and say we could beat the Cowboys, we could beat the Raiders, we could beat the Saints, we could beat the Giants, we could beat the Steelers, we could beat the Browns, and then we luck ourselves into a divisional win for 7 wins.
So I would say our ceiling though is 9. I mean, and that's
everything goes really well.
Everything goes right. Everything goes right. Like Caleb plays, better than above average. We stay relatively healthy. I still think our ceiling is around 9, maybe 10, but 9 I think is our ceiling. I think our floor, if everything goes wrong, Caleb gets hurt, and we have to stick with Bagent the whole time, I think our floor is 5 wins. So,
yeah, I'd say that's about accurate. 5, somewhere in the 5 to 9 window, and I think 7's a solid medium for the guess. I've been saying 6-11. I'm gonna be a little more optimistic and say 7-10. Really, and if Noah's still listening, this is all I've wanted for the past 3 or 4 seasons. Just be in the hunt by December.
Yeah.
Just be playing some meaningful game. It's hope. It's pathetic. It's hopeless. But all I want is to be playing relevant football in December. Just like with the Cubs, all I want is to be playing relevant baseball in
September,
which we are, which is great. But they're also kind of falling off a cliff. But they beat the Rockies yesterday, spanked up on them.
Yeah, as
11
they
to 7
should
inches
though,
away.
as they should. They getting
Yeah.
swept by the Giants really fucking hurt. Like that was
really
that was bad. That was bad.
We
Like
had some horrible luck that series too.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
balls
I mean,
bouncing off of gloves and into fielders' gloves for double plays. Like just really shitty. I feel like the Cubs have hit into some pretty unfortunate luck lately. I think that's also they need to be playing better. But yeah, I just feel like it's a fair thing to say.
yeah, no,
yeah.
I agree. Like the Cubs, like I said, had to come back down to earth a little bit. As hard as they started at the beginning of the season. And what really, I remember us talking at the beginning of it is like I was saying I wish we could have somehow morphed and combined Miguel Amaya and Carson Kelly together as a catcher, because they were both so hot and hitting so good at the beginning that like
would have been nice as long as
one of them would stay hot. But like they both cooled off, and now
poor Amaya can't stay healthy. I feel bad for the kid. He's gotten very unlucky.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean. What I wanted was, it's funny you say that because I always said if we were able to do that with Nick Madrigal and Patrick Wisdom, we would have the best third baseman of all time. Because Madrigal was all the contact, absolutely no power whatsoever, and not very good contact either. But Wisdom was, obviously all power, but 47 strikeouts a game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if the Cubs had the ability to morph players, which maybe that's what the Brewers are doing. Maybe that's why they've been winning so much. Maybe they're morphing players. That should be looked into because it's kind of fucked up.
PED, they need to be tested for PEDs on the regular, I think. So something.
No, absolutely.
Something's
I mean, there's no way something called the Sal Frelick is that good. Like, there's no way. I swear, they're just making guys in a lab. They're just making guys in a lab, man. Dude, we got 9 days till football, till Bears football. How freaking exciting is that?
Very anxious. I'm very anxious. Like I said, especially rival to begin with to start the season. It's my father-in-law's favorite team as well. So,
I think I still owe him $10. By the way.
For what?
I last year I think we had a bet that the Bears would be better than the Vikings. And now, even though at the time I'm not sure how much I even believed it, I still made the bet because you got to support your team. You can't bet against your team. Right. So I'll send that to you to send to him. I really will.
Okay, man. No problem. Also, we have the fantasy.
Unless he wants to do double or nothing, in which case, sure. If the Bears beat the Vikings week 1, but I don't know. Do you think we'll win week 1?
Like I said, it's a winnable game. It's at home. It's JJ's first, game. Granted, he's had a whole season to study the offensive playbook, so he should know it like the back of his hand. But it's one thing to know it, and then it's another thing to go out there and actually execute, the game plan. So it's a winnable game. But Aaron Jones is a bear killer, and he's still on that damn squad.
That he is.
So, granted, we'll have a little bit of luck of not having to deal with Addison, but, obviously we still have to deal with the both JJs there.
Mainly, obviously Jefferson.
Yeah.
Like he's a real threat. I think, do you think the game plan against the Vikings, given that they don't have Addison, would you say let Jefferson, have his 100 yards and just stop everything else? Or would you say the game plan should be to zero in on Jefferson at the risk of letting Aaron Jones kind of run wild? I would say, try to let, if Jalen Johnson is back in, try to let JJ guard JJ while JJ throws to him and just see, oh, man, that's going to be kind of a fun thing that we got. But I would say, let our all-pro corner try to shut down their all-pro receiver so we don't let the running game run wild. That's just me. But I'm obviously not the defensive coordinator.
1,000% agree.
Yeah? You say let JJ cook on JJ?
Yeah, it's going to be funny. There's going to be like 3 JJs out there. We got JJ to
really
JJ covered by JJ, so.
I'm a Grizzlies fan, so we got JJJ.
No, but I agree. Like, we cannot let Aaron Jones run wild. So I think the main focus should be containing that run and not having Aaron Jones go over 100 plus. So if Jefferson happens to go over 100, I still think it's a better chance of the Bears winning compared to if Aaron Jones goes over 100, because that 100 yards could come in garbage time, when trying to play catch up or whatnot. So
in fantasy, I thought of reaching for Aaron Jones just because of week 1.
just because
I didn't.
Oh man, well, if fantasy was only a 1 week season, that would be awesome. But you'd kind of be screwed for the other.
I also believe in Aaron Jones. I think he's a really good underrated player. But I ended up not reaching for him. I probably reached a little bit for Montgomery because I still love Montgomery and I think he's a touchdown vulture. But have we? I'm horrible. Have we had our draft in your league yet?
So I was getting to that. It's actually tomorrow. So
okay, good. What time?
At 5:30. 5:30.
5:30 Pacific.
Yes.
And that's a 12 team. That's a 12-team league, right?
That's a 16-team league.
Oh shit, 16 teams. Oh man, I gotta do some. Do we know the draft order?
It goes out an hour before the draft starts. So
Got
we
it.
do not
Got
know
it.
the draft order yet. So you got to practice in multiple sections there.
I will say,
but hey, easy, real quick. My phone's about to die. I do have to bounce out. Before
all good, brother. All good. I'm excited. I'm excited for the draft tomorrow. I will try very, very hard to be there because I want to. Although when I auto drafted, I ended up going. I started 4-0, but I'd like to pick my team this year. I'd like to have a say in it. So yeah, I'll definitely. That'll be fun.
Yes, you have to pick your team in order to get your name on that belt. Else, if you do happen to win, your team wins. That's Mr. Autobato or Roboto that gets put on the name.
Crooked auto drafter. By the way, I'm the Crooked Commission, my league, because we did a randomizer. I have the video of it, but I ended up with the number 1 pick. So I know what it's like to be called crooked.
Yeah, I've done that myself, my friend. I've done that myself. Allegedly. But anyways, like I said.
Anyway, I'll let you go. Now. I'm going to wrap up the show pretty soon anyway. But as always, great to have you on, man. We'll do this again soon.
Absolutely. Let me know if you want to come on for the fantasy show on a Wednesday night at all. So the door's open.
I'll keep you posted for sure. All right, take care, brother. Bye. What a great guy, that Crooked. Great crooked commissioner. Anyway, I've said my piece about the Bears. I think we're going to have a lot of problems this year, obviously. And I'm just hoping that Micah Parsons decides to suck for Green Bay. Also hoping the Cubs build off of their little win yesterday against the Rockies. Dansby Swanson, 6 RBI, 2 home runs and a triple. Almost better than a cycle. Very, very exciting. Man, I'm excited. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the TV right now. We got Bill Belichick, who they say 6-time Super Bowl champion. Well, it says 6-time super champion, which is a weird typo. But he's an 8-time champion if you include his defensive coordinator wins with the New York Football Giants in 1986 and 1990. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the Bears. Summing up the show, great win for the Ohio State University. I'm really sad about Micah Parsons, hoping he decides to not play well. The Bears are who we thought they were, and the Cubs are my favorite baseball team. I have been easy, and I have done it, and you have to have vision.
But you got to have vision.
And it's time to wrap up the show.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.